So the kind of the next section I have is just like getting your significant other involved if they want to, some kind of ideas and things to keep in mind on that point. Make your expectations clear on both ends. So whatever it is you're involving that person on, um, like like I said in that instance, later on we talked about it, and didn't I didn't realize his expectations and he didn't realize mine. So we had to work through that, and it's just different, I needed to know that, hey, like from him, that I'm here to hunt. I got to do this, this, and this. Because partly too, when you don't hunt the same way as the other person or at all, you don't realize all the things that go into it. So communicating that and making your expectations clear. And then I had expectations that we would be able to do maybe more together.
Right.
But then the next time when we went and I knew, what to expect, it made it a lot more enjoyable while we were there. I was fine when he was gone hunting because I expected that. So that's what I mean by like make your expectations clear on both sides. Kind of some things we've done that have that we like. Again, my personality is I like outdoors, so I actually really enjoy hiking and camping. So those are some things we have been able to kind of group into hunting, and obviously I like hunting too, to make things a little more family friendly and spend time together. So some things we do, so turn shed hunting, trail camera work, and working in food plots, we've turned all of those into family work. If it's nice weather outside, I don't mind to tag along, as long as Huck's doing well and everything, he'll come along too. And even during the day, I know Josh will take him and go either get trail cameras or put him out and do some of that. And he loves it. So obviously you're going to have more patience doing those kind of things, and sometimes a little more planning ahead. But if it's important to you to spend more time with, those people and get them a little more involved in what you're doing, that's one way you can do it too. I just see shed hunting as hiking, and so I'm not very good at finding them.
No, you're not.
Again, trail cam work too, just hiking to the trail camera and then grabbing it and hiking back. So also, though, Josh does some thinking ahead of time, and he knows what areas or what kind of walking and trail walking I can do and don't enjoy doing. So if it's a thick area, he's like, let me just go do
Briars.
this one. Right. A lot of briars I'm not a fan of. So, but
if you can screw them, you can screw it up. Like you can think it's going to be something nice and fun to do with the family, and it could be miserable.
Yes.
So think about that beforehand, because there's a lot of places they don't go with me on.
Right.
I don't take them every time I go out. So think ahead a little bit.
Yeah. And also make sure they're comfortable. So make sure they have the right clothes on, the right shoes on for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You may be a beast and be able to get a little uncomfortable, but if you want her to enjoy herself, you better make sure she's comfortable. And that's going to include the right clothing and the right amount of clothing, the right shoes for, the type of walking you're going to be doing, and the right bug spray, tick prevention. I know ticks have ruined a couple of our things.
I love you.
I tend to get into the little turkey tick nests like crazy every time.
Mm-hmm.
So having all of that stuff.
You use that natural crap that doesn't work. You got to put the chemicals on.
Yeah, I know. I don't treat my clothing as often as you do, probably. Yeah. And also plenty of snacks. If you're a snack person like me, or if you're going to be out there a long time and you don't want them to get hungry, plenty of snacks. Bring those along. It's maybe not be something you think to bring for yourself every time, but it'll go a long way to have something like that on hand.
We had to leave a turkey gobbling one night because you were hungry.
Yeah. I was pregnant then, so I was just worried. I was just worried about the baby.
You were pregnant. We'd walk quite a bit.
Starving. Yeah. That actually is a good story for one of my points too.
Okay, we'll talk later. Or go ahead if you want to get on it now.
No, that's fine. I have on here that going with them helps see the excitement and passion that they have for hunting.
Yeah.
And so that helps you as the I don't want to say non-hunter because I do hunt, but the one that doesn't hunt as much, I guess.
Right. You wouldn't hunt if it wasn't for me.
Right. Being that person, when you go along and you see them light up about hunting, whatever it may be, it just makes you understand, okay, now I see why they want to do this and, why and it makes you happy. Obviously, I want him to be happy, and to see him happy makes me happy. So that's important. And so the same trip he's talking about where we had to leave a gobbling turkey, we're out there, this turkey's gobbling, and they're so close, but they're right over like property line or something.
Yeah, they're on different property.
And so he's trying to call it in, and I'm sitting there starving and I'm like ready kind of to go. But then after a while of not hearing it gobble, he called and he heard it gobble again. And he lit up. He looked back at me like, did you hear that? And he got so excited, and it just like tickled me to death to see him. And I'm like, okay. And that's turkey hunting. That is not deer hunting. So it's like, and that's deer hunting is number one, obviously. So if he is getting that excited about a turkey gobbling, not even seeing it or anything, like obviously he loves this. So it's like, it made me happy, and I was like fine with it. We still had to leave because I was still starving, but we had a really good time. I actually really enjoyed.
If I had planned ahead and I
brought the snacks,
I
right.
probably had another turkey in the the freezer.
That's why we say that. So it does. I mean, if you can get them out there, just more or less, so they can see why you love it so much, and they can see your happiness in it. It goes a long way, because obviously he supports me in all the things I enjoy, and I want to support him in the same way, just so to see how much joy it brings him is.
And I'll say this, like Dan hunts a lot, obviously. And I'm not going to speak for Dan, but like Dan also does a good job at that part of it. I think like Carol, his wife, she has her rescue business that she does with the coons and everything. And Dan, he takes every Friday at least and helps her with all that, gets her food for the coons and all that. And he spends Friday doing all that. And plus he takes care of them throughout the day and whatnot whenever he can. So that's obviously something Dan probably would not do if it wasn't for his wife. I don't know that for sure, but you could tell by like the few times we talked about coons, like Dan kind of passionate about that kind of stuff anymore, and to me and most people here, a coon's probably just another freaking pest, anymore. Yeah. But Dan, it's like a dog to him. Like he does not care to think about people shooting coons. Yeah. And that's probably from his wife, because I don't think he was always like that.
And that kind of goes along with like we were talking about, spending quality time. I think that can be true of, just as I got into hunting because I wanted to spend more time with you and get to know one of your passions, it helps if you do the same. So
yeah, I'm not gonna get too into yoga. And
volleyball, you have done some yoga with me, but
maybe once or twice.
You have gotten into hiking and camping. We've definitely done more of that, and even some of the trips we've done have been more on my accord. And I mean, we both ended up loving them, but non-hunting trips that we both we really enjoyed. Like so, trying to find some interest in their interests as well, or at least showing support and interest goes a long way. So it's not one-sided, like you're expecting them to support you on hunting, but you're not supporting them on what they want to do. That can be tough. So, and make you feel a little underappreciated and things like that. So that goes a long way. Some other, I guess, tips, if she is along for maybe a hunting trip, or like a longer hunting trip, make sure to involve her in the process, or them. I shouldn't say her, but involve them in the process. And what I mean by that is, especially like deer camps, there's a bunch of like chit chat and deer talk, discussions about the hunt that day. Make sure she's around that, even though she wasn't the one hunting. Like, one, how is she ever going to learn about the ins and outs of hunting if you don't involve her in those discussions? And so she can hear even like the language and things like that, and like how things happen. But and involve her in meals and things like that. Don't make her feel like an outsider, because then she's not going to want to tag along next time, because she was like, I didn't even get to
be involved.
Yeah, be involved. So
yeah, and it's nice to have, like, whenever we go on a hunt, like Battle of the Bows or something like that, it's nice to have someone like you at camp, because we're just pretty much a bunch of guys hunting. So it's nice to have someone there to just to have things in order at camp.
Yeah. And I enjoy that too. Like,
yeah,
I actually enjoy camp cooking. I like, it's
right.
like a challenge to figure out like good meals at
Mhm.
camp, and it's always fun.
Yeah.
So I did all the cooking for that, but I enjoyed it. It was something
And
to
also,
do throughout
like,
the day.
camp is like not what you think it would be whenever you're doing stuff like me and Dan are doing. Like, it's literally, we're so busy during a camp. It's not like a traditional camp. You know, we get up early, we're out scouting all day, we hunt, and we get back, we're typically like transferring video files or, you know, just planning for video stuff, essentially.
Yeah.
Stuff you wouldn't even think about if you're just a normal hunter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Our camps are different. Like, people always be like, I'd love to go to camp with you. I'm like, I don't know why. Like, it's just us working, you know.
Yeah.
We don't get to talk.
Right.
We very seldomly like have a
Or at
proper
camp.
proper fire where we kind of sit around and do stuff.
Yeah. When I'm along, I always make sure there's a
Yeah,
fire at
but-
night, because I like
but
to
it's
sit
not
around
like
a fire.
you would think it would be anyway.
Right.
I just want to say that because it's not, I don't know. It's just different.
Yeah. Again, that
Go
goes along with that expectations thing. You gotta know what they
exactly.
are. Kind of, I don't want to say the last thing because I'm sure I'll say more, but another thing or tip to get them involved or just more knowledgeable or supportive is have them help with the processing of the meat or the cooking of the meat.
Mm-hmm. If they want to.
If they're obviously not vegan or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But it just, I don't know. To me, it made a big difference, and it appreciates the, that side of hunting where you are providing for your family. We really are into gardening and canning and things like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is important to me. And it's, so therefore I am more open to letting him do hunting trips because I'm like, I want the meat. Like it's nice to have that and to know, it obviously saves on the grocery bill, and it makes it easier because we're always going to have it. I can always fall back on deer meat as at least the main part of the meal. So it helps a lot.
And we eat almost every, darn near every meal is some type of deer meat.
Yeah.
And people may like think like, what the heck? Cause I've killed, I don't know, 6 or 7 deer this year. Well, minus one, cause I gave one to my sister, but, like we'll eat it all before next year. Like by October next year, I'll be like, man, ready to kill a deer for the freezer. So, it's not, I don't usually kill that many bucks in a year, but like,
usually
I usually shoot at least 5 every year for the freezer. But if you use it, we literally eat it every day. Almost either for lunch or dinner.
Yeah, it helps. And I just, like I said, I think doing that, it brings the appreciation on both people. I mean? If they help in that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the last thing I have is just an overall thing that would help with all of everything I've said was just communication. It's going to be the most important thing. Cause like I said, some of it's going to be trial and error. Some of it's going to change as your seasons of life change. And if you're not communicating through it, it's going to be harder. So,
yeah, for sure. I was kind of, I still am sometimes. Like, I'm bad about assuming you don't care. Like, I assume you just don't care about the hunts and stuff, so I don't always do a good job of like elaborating on what happened when I went hunting.
Especially when you're on a trip and I'm home and I'm like, can you give me a little more? Like you were gone all day.
She'll find out what happened and listen to one of these,
Right. Or I'll be like, oh, I didn't even know that. That's how that hunt went down.
So I got to do better about that. But hey, everybody, if you like the channel, make sure you subscribe right here. And if you like the clips, I got 2 more options for you. 2 options right here. Subscribe right here. See you guys.